Hi, Scott Weir here from Homesure, and welcome to this very short introduction video about a brand new service that we're just about to launch. Now you're going to hear I'm quite excited and passionate about this as we go through, so when I tell you what it is, I hope you share that excitement and passion too. So I'm going to be talking about how to double your rental yield and halve your stress. But before I tell you how to do this, I want to highlight some of the problems that some of our landlords have with existing buy-to-let, the traditional buy-to-let model. Firstly, they find that yields aren't high enough. Maybe be getting 6 to 12% yields to start off with, but when you take agents fees, void periods, repairs, tenant arrears, this yield starts to lower quite dramatically. So it's a concern for landlords. The second thing they worry about is that it's quite stressful. Even with a good agent in place, some people feel that they're just waiting something happen, like a tenant losing their job, storm damage, damaging their property. So there can be quite a lot of stress in being a traditional buy-to-let landlord. The next thing is little or no capital growth. There are some areas in the UK that are growing quite substantially, and generally in Scotland there's a little bit, but landlords are concerned that they're no longer getting that price increase, the old traditional thing of every 10 years properties doubling in value. Well, it certainly hasn't over the last 10 years in Scotland. So a concern for landlords leads us nicely into negative equity. If you bought prior to the credit crunch, chances are you're going to be in negative equity a few years before the credit crunch. So you're sitting with a property that is worth less than what you actually owe on it. So this is a massive concern for landlords. Finally, we are talking about fears of interest rate rises. We did a study of landlords, and 57% of landlords know that a 1% rise in interest rates are going to pretty much wipe them out. They're not going to be able to pay their mortgage every month. They're going to be negative equity, negative cash flow. So a 1% rise might not happen, but chances are it's going to go up at some point. But this is a fear landlords have. The negative cash flow they might be in at the moment is going to get worse, or the positive cash flow is going to make them break even. So interest rate rises, which will happen at some point in the future, I don't know when, might mean that their yields are all eradicated. So this is the traditional buy-to-let model. I wanted to let you know about a quick variation on this model. We call it the holiday homes blueprint. So holiday homes, a concept everybody's probably aware of, but let me explain. It is the exact same as traditional buy-to-let. It's not some crazy overseas scheme it is here in the UK. It's the exact same as a buy-to-let. You buy the property, you own it outright of cash with a mortgage if you don't have the funding, and it's the exact same as a buy-to-let. The only difference is a target market. It's not long-term tenants, you don't get tenancy agreements, it's simply renting to people that want to use it as a holiday home. So good things about this, there's lots of things we're missing out, like legislation, regulation, there's no tenancies, tenants don't have rights, so you don't need to worry about any of that, so a lot less stress. Yields are a lot higher. When speaking to people, we always say double the yield. Now, that's very conservative. I would always be very conservative in anything that we're selling, but a lot of our clients are getting 3 and 4 times the yield. So, but if we say double, that's still a pretty attractive proposition to get double the income from the exact same property, just set up slightly different. We also don't need to worry about arrears. If a tenant doesn't pay the money in advance, they don't get the keys, they don't get into the property. So they're paying it in advance into your bank account, normally as well with a nice little security deposit against any damage, but again, damage is very minimal. And tenants are there for a holiday. You're not going to get somebody pitching up to your holiday home and staying there and not paying any more rent and wanting to be in that property. So you're not going to get squatters, tenants not paying any rent and needing to evict people. You're not going to have any legal costs. People are there for a holiday, they're simply not going to be staying any longer, and if they do, they don't have rights. The real bonus of holiday homes for some people is it can be quite a lifestyle investment, and the lifestyle, I mean, you can actually use this. So if you're local to where we buy the properties, you might not want to go to your holiday home, but if you're overseas, down in London, maybe over on the East Coast, you might think, well, I would love to go and use my holiday home. Not just for yourself, but it's a gift for friends and family. So it's definitely something you can use and escape for a weekend. So there's some of the good things and the differences with the holiday home. So where do Homesure come in? Well, we're specialists in the area that we recommend buying. We do a lot of property deals, normal estate agency, property management, and now holiday homes in this area. Lots of investment happening, and we can tell you about this further, but not in this video. So it needs to be bought in the right place. Buying a holiday home is not going to be attractive everywhere. It needs to be at the right target market. Also, the property needs to be right. What happens for a traditional buy-to-let that makes it very popular might not work for holiday homes. It needs to be a USP. It also needs to stand out in the advertising as well, so that people are checking online. They're not just going to keep going past it and not using it. We want to maximise your occupancy periods. We also do all the negotiating as well, so you don't want to go head to head against a professional negotiator, i.e. an estate agent. We do all that to get the property at the best price for you. Holiday home investment with mortgages can be quite difficult. It's not as easy as a buy-to-let. There's a few specialist lenders, so we help you with all that as well. That's all included in our service. There's all the financial advice and arranging a mortgage if you want one there, or you need one. If you're lucky enough to buy it cash, then that's good as well. We need to get it up in all the right places as well, not just sticking it in Rightmove, which works for buy-to-lets, but it needs to be on the right outlets so that people actually see your holiday home. If you're buying something that might need a little bit of work, maybe you need to put decking in, or put a window in, or knock a wall down, or upgrade the kitchen, then we project manage that as well. We've got people on the ground, so you don't need to be local. And the management, the ongoing management. As you can imagine, it can be quite onerous. You need to meet people, give them keys, do the changeovers, take the bookings, and get the cleaning done, do any little small repairs that happen as time goes on, let contractors in. We take care of all that for you as well. So, lots involved. We haven't launched this format. This is one of the very first videos that we've done, but having speaking to people at various networking and speaking to current clients, we have a waiting list for this already. So a few reasons for that. One, it's a simple time thing for my team and I. There's lots of people involved in doing this, it's not just me, but I do have a business to run, and as much as I would love to do this 24/7, and I do have Homesure to run, which is quite a task. The other thing as well is stock. We don't want to rush in, buy 40 properties and eradicate all the stock in the market. We want to buy them slowly. We need to source stock as well, so it's not simply just checking Rightmove. We do lots of other activities as well, so we want to buy them slowly, so there's a continuous supply for future clients. And finally, we want to release them onto the market, not 40 in the summer and they all come on at the one time. We want to drip feed them roughly one a week so that the supply and demand is pretty much matched. So I mentioned just there, it's not just me doing all this, as much as I would love to, we do have a team. So we have Alan and Stephen in the estate agency side. They're going to be working on this as well, assisting me in all the estate agency activities. We've got Robert and Jane, they're going to be in the sourcing side, going viewing the properties and working on the plans to get the properties as they should be for the holiday let market. Now Robert and Jane are currently successfully operating holiday homes in the area, so again it's not just something that it's a member of staff doing it. These guys are physically there doing it in the areas that we would recommend you invest in, and they're there to give advice and help to get these properties looking as attractive as possible to maximise your occupancy levels. And we've got all the letting staff and all my office staff taking all the bookings and all the phone calls, so you have the full support of Homesure. We've got all my contractors that we use for Homesure as well. These are all built over 10 years and all my personal network of pretty much every business person and contractor and tradesman you would ever need. So you really get everything that I have access to, yous are getting that. My personal network, that really is the power of leverage. You're leveraging everything I have, we are doing everything for you, you're getting access to all my contacts, which is a cool thing. So there's lots involved. We're going to do all the financial planning. We're not just going to try and sell you something, we're going to plan stuff out and get the investments that help you achieve your financial goals. We're going to be sourcing. That's not just using Rightmove, that's knocking on people's door. We were driving past 2 days ago and we saw somebody with a really attractive property. We knocked on the door, gave them a card because that's going to make a fantastic holiday home. We're going to be buying a lot of stock in these areas. We're eventually going to run out because they're very popular, local, from London and overseas. So we need to be really proactive and do leaflet drops and try and get access to the best properties. Negotiating as well to get the best price. Renovating and converting. This could be something as simple as a new carpet or putting on a conservatory, for example. Kitting it out with everything you need. That can be time consuming and onerous if you want to start going buying kettles and beds and setting stuff up. We do it. All the advertising's all done for you and all the management as well. And that's the changeovers, keys, little repairs. Now, if you want to make it a little business for yourself, you can do the ongoing management. You're not contracted for us to manage it at all, but generally people want a hands-off investment. So, lots involved, and obviously there's a fee for this. We can't do it for free, but I can tell you it is definitely value for money. Our professional investors are actually on our waiting list to do it, and we've done a few for some and they're already got 3 or 4 planned for the rest of the year, so it is definitely value for money. Now, I've talked on an awful lot, I could talk for hours on this subject, but I appreciate everybody is very busy. The next step, please give the office a call. You can book in a call with me. If you are serious, we'll get a meeting, and if you definitely do want to take it forward, then let's come up to the office, and I'll drive you around and I'll show you some real life case studies of people that are actually doing it, and I'll show you the areas that we would like you to invest in. So genuinely, thanks for your time. I know I have been very passionate about this, and I hope it all makes sense. So thank you very much for your time, and I'll hopefully look forward to working with you soon.